I'd read in this section the ticker tape that I described along the bottom, because it runs across several pages under several poems and picks up bits in the poems. It might not be something that is maybe always read as a sequence in itself, or as a single piece in its own right. So it doesn't have a title, and I call it the ticker tape. So some days wind and tide spew shrapnel up the beach. On others, these snappings of garish flakes hook themselves into a retreating wave, drawn back under, away out of the bay, on tides faster than a man can run. Bits of computer, biros, scraps of cars, satellite butts and buildings ride sand, waves, mega ripples, coils, fuming, flexing nurdles, the bedrock of plastic manufacture, foam from drains, container ships, tough enough to reach the Irish Sea. Looping polymers gleam chains of cosmetics and cleaning products, indistinguishable from bubbles of air or algae, spunk of gas, coal and oil, bristling tentacles of ancient sunlight, free from a millennia of compression. In the warm northerly flow of the Gulf Stream, breakdown is slow, even slower in the chill of the Norwegian current, year on year, sluggish, Atlantic, drifting, evaporating, condensing, precipitating. Plastic's lifespan is as yet unknown, unfixed, as the Arctic, a looping gaseous exchange, ocean, the most visible, countless streamings in global branches, mini revolutions, as overlooked as violated, this surging northwards, these Bitty-Berg bombings of surface water that will become Arctic, of deeper water that will have been Arctic, frozen hinge, icy water becoming heavier and downwelling, sinking as deep ocean currents southwards, slowing, bright splinters above, dull particles below. This plasticity ensures against decay and disease, not yet disappeared, not yet functioning as intended. The Arctic, hinge of what will become, hinge of what will have been, circling plastics. Some days wind and tide spew, others upwell, north. A walrus outlives the billiard ball. In the 21st century, the viable is cheap and awayable. Mollusks hitch on torn sacking, plastics promising a cultural democracy, flowing polewards, pluming southwards, gyrating Atlantic loop, invisible as it swirls, attracting other persistent organic pollutants, falling to the sea floor, leaking component chemicals back into the dark, watery mud, upwelling to wreathe miles out at sea, the discarded, pulverized into microscopic debris by currents and waves, riding the Atlantic to populate uninhabited shores, so tiny, targeting sieves remove similar-sized plankton from the water. Plankton that absorbs carbon dioxide, plankton that produces our every second breath, looping south as deep ocean currents, as saltier waters untouched by wind, surface microbeads attached by static to microplants, eaten by crustaceans, eaten by squid, eaten by seal, eaten by whale, or upcycling through salmon or turtles or shark, or ocean most visible. No plastic produced has ever disappeared. Synthetic fibres washed out of clothes into gyres miles out at sea. Replicate phytoplankton, become incidental fodder for zooplankton, disable motility, bloat stomachs, render creatures sterile. At each transfer, toxicity increases. Upcycling to human. Nothing is wasted, pulled north for polar waters to sink, enfolded by the efficient conveyor, one of many watery gyres, indistinguishable from bubbles of air, upwelling south, pulled north, engulfed what we will become, and how I will have found myself, plankton, dividing between water and air. Thank you for listening.